Good morning. Due to the unique circumstances of this graduation ceremony, I do have to ask that you do a few things so that we can have the best possible ceremony and adhere to the restrictions we are under due to COVID-19. At this time, please turn off your vehicles until you're asked to bring your senior to the stage by West Lincoln High School staff. As a reminder, everyone must remain in your vehicle in the parking lot throughout the entire ceremony. If you haven't done so already, we have an FM transmitter at 87.9 so that you can listen to the audio of this graduation ceremony. Also, you can check out our social media and school webpage for the YouTube Live link that you can watch or share with your friends and family that were unable to attend today. Where required to social distance during the ceremony, and any students coming to the stage to be recognized or to give speeches will need to stand at the bottom of the stairs on the numbers in the parking spaces until the person in front of you moves from their spot. The pictures taken during the ceremony will be provided free of charge, and more information will be provided after the ceremony. At the conclusion of the ceremony, I will give additional details on how to exit the parking lot. Please wait until they are received. In a moment, we'll have the national anthem sung by our own Robert Helma. I understand that it's customary that we stand, but under our current restrictions, I do have to ask that you remain in your vehicles. Thank you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Great job. Thank you. Me? Good morning, West Lincoln High School seniors and families. I want to welcome you to the commencement ceremony for the class of 2020 and appreciate everyone who has supported the seniors through this difficult time of the COVID-19 school closures. At this time, I want to personally thank West End Sales for the stage we are standing on today, the parents and community of West Lincoln High School for the senior portrait signs around the parking lot and the goodie bags you have with you in the vehicles. I also want to thank Debbie Cornwell and our graduation planning committee for making this unique graduation possible. I also want to thank Stephanie McCabe for creating the dedication videos, Tammy Johnson and Hannah Settle for the work on our social media outlets and our new sign, and everyone else who helped to make this senior year for the class of 2020 as memorable as possible under the circumstances that are outside of our control. I also want to thank School Board Member Joan Avery, Superintendent Dr. Laurie Morrow, Associate Superintendent Dr. Allen for coming to this ceremony and showing their support for West Lincoln High School. At this time, I would like to ask the class mascots and the junior marshals to come to the stage to be recognized.
Gwyneth Arden Reap, Chief Marshal. Paxton Jack Farmer, class mascot, son of Jamie and Travis Farmer. Alexia Faith Hallman, Junior Marshal. Why do I have? Oh. Olivia Ryan Jenkins, class mascot. Callie Elise Helms, Junior Marshal. Johanna Nava Trejo, Junior Marshal. Brogan Michelle Hevner, Junior Marshal. No. Luke Bradford Stewart, Junior Marshal. Leah Joan Matney, Junior Marshal. Emily Elise Dellinger, Junior Marshal. Morgan Hope Chapman, Junior Marshal. Samuel David Duncan, Junior Marshal. Addison Stamey, Junior Marshal.
Good morning. I'm Emily Gunter. 10 months ago, when we began our journey as seniors, we never would have imagined that we would be celebrating our graduation in our cars here in the student parking lot. As we all know, our senior year took an unexpected twist and has been very difficult for us all. When we began our senior year, we excitedly said, "This is going to be our year to grow, our year to have fun, and our year to be seniors." Then in March, it feels like everything we worked for the past 13 years was ripped away from us. Our year to be seniors came to an unexpected end, and it felt so unfair. We could no longer be together with our friends in the classroom, but through online communication only. It felt like our senior year turned into a fictional movie. Although our senior year came to an end so soon, it was still our year. Edwin Mamerto says, "When life changes to be harder, change yourself to be stronger." We don't have control over this pandemic, but we do have control over how we respond and how we grow from it. Rather than letting this pandemic define our class, let this be a moment of growth for our future. When you are looking back at this year and how it has affected our lives, remember how our class, our parents, and our community have come together and made this the best year that it can be. Throughout 2020, as everything seems to have gone wrong, I remember the verse Jeremiah 29:11. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Acknowledge the strength that this pandemic has given us for our future. As we go into the next chapter of our lives, don't forget about the experiences and the growth that we have gotten throughout our high school career. Remember the lessons we have learned and the friendships we have made. We have overcome the unexpected, and we have made history. We are the class of 2020. I wish you all the best.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Chloe Brooks, Senior Class President. Thank you all for being here today to support us. Although none of us could have imagined this is how our senior year would end, I'm still thankful to be able to gather and celebrate our graduation. I would be lying if I said the past 2 months have been easy. I thought the past 4 years were rough until school was canceled, making me realize just how much I took for granted. Although we have missed out on many senior memories, I am so thankful for how our community has been there for all of us. I want to say thank you to the staff at West Lincoln. You all have done an excellent job supporting us through this tough time. Between delivering signs to all of our homes to just ensuring we stay updated about senior events, we are so thankful for all of you. I would also like to say thank you to Miss Cornwell. You have done everything in your power to ensure we have a smooth graduation despite these strange circumstances. Lastly, I would like to say thank you to all senior parents who have donated, volunteered, and helped plan all of the senior events. We have missed out on many traditional senior memories, but you all ensured we gained various new ones. While our senior year was a journey none of us expected, I am excited to start the rest of our lives and begin new journeys. While this is the end of our high school years, it's the beginning of our adulthood. A friend once told me that God is the director of our lives. He has our whole lives planned, and while the twists are unexpected, God knows they only intensify the triumph. While our future is just beginning, I know each and every one of you are capable of great things. Congratulations to the class of 2020.
Good morning, class of 2020. I'm Isabella Shutt, your salutatorian. As I was preparing this speech and considering what wisdom you each individually need and what lessons you all have learned over the past 4 years, I realized that this is an impossible task. In fact, there is no way for me to speak to the experiences of over 180 unique individuals. My high school experience included buying a cupcake before almost every gym class, wreaking havoc in Hildebrands with every unsuccessful lab attempt, clambering around on the tennis court until I sort of got the hang of it, and reenacting TikToks in the yearbook room, even though I have never taken yearbook and I do not own a TikTok account. These last few years have been memorable, to say the least. But these memories are not yours. And while we all walk the same halls and unfortunately breathe the same air, I don't know your story. So to write a speech in honor of your journey, I had to look past the people and past this building and speak to the one thing I know we all have in common: life itself. I thought back to all the material Miss Beam taught me, from freshman biology honors to senior AP bio. And I remembered an idea mentioned in passing: transplants, not the organ kind. In this case, rather than transferring an organ to a different body, scientists transfer an organism to an entirely new environment. They remove the individual from the ground it has always lived on, the resources it has always depended on, and the predators it has always feared. But why force this change? Why disrupt a life? Scientists do so in the name of understanding. By understanding how this species reacts to change, we can understand its limits and its strengths. It may thrive and show us that its original environment is not, in fact, the only one suited for its survival. It may struggle and be forced to adapt, ridding itself of qualities that, while once helpful, are now harmful. And it may grow, strengthening its best qualities in the face of environmental challenges. But whether it thrives, struggles, or grows, we know. We know how our individual will respond to change because we forced it. You see, plants and animals aren't aware of the diversity of ecosystems that they could call home. But we humans know that there are different versions of life to be lived, and unlike plants, we can move. But like plants, we have roots too. Roots that are responsible for nourishing us and that are painful to sever. So we dig them deep and we never ask, is this the best version of me? Am I thriving? Am I struggling? Am I growing? Just like for our transplants, moving can be the most effective way to answer these questions. But in the face of COVID-19, physically changing our locations brings its own set of difficulties. So I remind you that as a human, your environment is so much more than the earth you stand on. It's the people you communicate with, the conversations you share, and the knowledge you consume. Not all transplants are intentional. While I hope all organ transplants are, accidental transplants are species that suddenly find themselves in new surroundings that challenge every aspect of their lives without warning. Sound familiar? This global health crisis is testing us all, and already we're learning more about ourselves. But when this trial ends, may we continue in our pursuit of understanding by choosing our own test. Over the years, West Lincoln students have identified with the term tater diggers. I challenge the class of 2020 to dig up your roots too.
Good morning, parents and students. I am Mr. Clare. Just kidding. For those of you who do not know me, I am Kelton Towery, your 2020 valedictorian. You know, this senior year was nothing like hindsight 2020. We never got the opportunity to decide which days to skip. We didn't get to walk the elementary halls, have awards day, prom, or graduate on the football field like we imagined all these years. However, this year, we learned a lot about life. We learned that we never know when a time will come to pass, and we look back to realize it's our last. None of us knew that March 13th would be the last day of face-to-face class. We didn't know that when we were rushing to get out of the school parking lot, that would be our last. I know I wasn't prepared not to ever step onto the West Lincoln baseball field again. March 13th, that was my last. It sure felt like COVID-19 was stealing everything in 2020 that we worked so hard for. But what we did get was a lot of firsts. We saw our parents fight for us to have everything we deserve. We got to see a community who rallied behind us in the darkest times. We got to ride 25 miles in our parade. Some of you hanging out of the windows with the sound of sirens and horns. And while we started our year off with Prayer by the Rock, the one thing that we probably should not have ever done was light up those Chinese lanterns. It's been a year that was different from all of those before us, but the one good thing that I hope we all take from these unprecedented times is that we learn to do everything as if it's our last. By this time, seniors are eager to get those diplomas, but for me, I'd like to head back inside those halls and have some more of this. This place means a lot to me. I call this place my home. I am proud to be a rebel. I know that pretty soon the corona talks will subside, but make no mistake, people will never forget the class of 2020. I want to thank the good Lord for bringing us together today. I want to say thanks to my dad, JT. I want to say thanks to my mom, who was my Angie. I love y'all, and it's because of you two that I am standing here giving this speech today. I stand before you today as valedictorian. Truth is, I never thought that it was possible. There are many reasons for my success besides dedication and consistency. You see, through the years, there were some people who paved the way, which is why I want to say to all of the educators joining, you do make a difference. And it's up to you to decide if that difference is a good difference. I have had some awesome teachers these past 13 years. To the class of 2020, congrats. Our last came without us knowing it. Find the Vin Diesel in you and live your life a quarter mile at a time. I believe in each of you. Continue to shine, surround yourself with good people, but most of all, be good, be kind, and every chance you get, pay it forward. Stay safe and love yourself. I love you, God loves you, and you'll forever be my West by Guy Lincoln family. Man, am I blessed. It's been a real honor. Go Rebels. Kelton Towery, signing out.
Kelton Blake Towery, outstanding senior. Isabella Catherine Shutt, outstanding senior. Emily Joanne Gunter, outstanding senior. Alejandra Salas, outstanding senior. Allie Grace Helms, outstanding senior. Cade Ryland McConnell, outstanding senior. Mackenzie Lee May Engel, outstanding senior. Anthony William Fowler. Caroline Marie Jenkins, outstanding senior. Elizabeth Nicole Weathers. Chloe Sierra Brooks, outstanding senior. Allison Hope Boston. Wesley Joseph Bishop. Sierra Elizabeth Beecham. Andrew Michael Ellis. Brooklyn Alanis Arrowood, outstanding senior. Dylan Giovanni Avery. Thomas James Bishop. Cannon Ray Bridges, outstanding senior. Hannah Lee Bolin. Raymond Tyler Cook. Jerry Raymond Reynolds. Hunter Lee Boston. Allison Rhine Aker. Fanice Alexandria Butler. Gabriel Earl Craig. Kendra Dawn Bivens. Kaylee Nicole Beard. Will Forrest Carpenter. Caleb Michael Britton. James Royal Glaska, Jr. Anna Elizabeth Dombrowski. Mary Elizabeth Deals. Michael Dale Britton. Matthew Dale Britton. Misprint on the card. Haley Irene Evans. Brandy Nicole Lingerfeld, outstanding senior. Malia Abigail Bollinger. Madeline Nicole Bivens. Sorry. Matthew Dylan Beam, outstanding senior. Joseph Michael Castillo. Katrina Grace Allen. Dylan Francisco Aguirre. Me too. Jolie Beth Brown. Christopher James Abernathy. Scarlett Madison Bowman. Dalton Ryan Christopher. Sage Evelyn Krupa. Terry Alexander Pendergrass, outstanding senior. Nicole's in there too. Teresa Roche Mintz. Kirsten Lachey Frady. Jared Edward Lee Gates. Sydney Lexielli Harkey. Kyle James Ford Massey. Alexander Glenn Simmons. Jasper Malachi Holler. Mardelia Louise Martinez. Chase Moore Key. Jade Lynn Gawar. Billy Joe Drake Coffey. Aaron Waco Haney. Gavin Keith Israel. Destiny Lachelle Hull. Jacob Ryan Hilton. Eddie Dwayne Howie. Jameson Paul Martin. Michael Chance Norman. Tyler Matthew McClung. Daniel Owen Bicknays. Daniel Franklin Bumgardner. Hunter Lee McCraw. Charleston Alden Hayes. Kara McGill Hinkle, outstanding senior. Nathaniel Wilson Beam, outstanding senior. Haley Brooke Huss. Gracie Elizabeth Ledford, outstanding senior. Matthew Ethan Lohman. Eric James Corvin. Morgan Bailey Cherry. Kayla Nicole Dietz, outstanding senior. Jasmine Maria Stevens. Caleb Lee Johnson. Zachary Randy Cunningham. Riley Journey Cody. Jessica Page Brown. Carrie Ann Benfield. Kayla Nicole James. Cole Jonathan Curtis. Katie Loretta Kester. Andrew Daniel Flowers. Pedro Noel Reyna Martinez. Lisa Dawn Sane. Dylan Mitchell Reichert, outstanding senior. Peyton Dawn Reynolds. Thank you. Trevin Isaiah Fansuk. Clay Clifton Schrantz III, outstanding senior. Haven Marilla Smith. Thomas John Krupa. Vanessa Lane Beaver. Garrett McCoy Sane. Tori Alexis Taylor. Timothy Alexander Hall, outstanding senior. Johnny Ray McKinney, Jr. Rachel Abigail Torres Mancero. Alexis Brianna Gamble. Sierra Cheyenne Hendricks. Draper Evan Sullivan. Luke Christopher Schrantz, outstanding senior. Kaylon Marie Towery. Amanda Elizabeth Jimenez. Trace Andrew Johnson. Philip Ethan Parker. Deanna O'Shell Laws. Coleman Wayne Warner, outstanding senior. Madison Nicole Spake. Just loving. Brandon Rance Starnes. Michaela Ann Hunter. Caitlin Victoria Sanders. Christopher Lee Gale. Dwayne Edward Reeves. Grace Elizabeth Wilson. Ricky Austin Pearson. Lucas Alton Swink. Brandon Alexander Perez. Rashawn Antonio Pierce. Karen Ramirez Cordero, outstanding senior. Kashim Gerald Odom. Cameron Lewis Probst. Daniel Allen Wilkins. Keely Shay Warlick. Madison Elizabeth Weaver, outstanding senior. Jada Marie Brianna Truesdale. Grayson Elizabeth Pender, outstanding senior. Emma Susan McSwain. Caitlin Dow Willis. Zachary Clinton Rojo. Brittany Leanne Howard. I'll try. Sarah Rose Vincenta Schmidt. Alexandra Ann Reed. David Michael Wesson. Daniel Timothy Wesson. Yeah. Gaston Kenneth David Gilbert. Zachary Alexander White. Clayton Michael Pruitt. Christopher Michael Moxley. Michael Sean Tesnier. Caleb Darren Probst. Joseph Alvin Daniel Norris. Madison Grace Saunders. Yazel Trejo Martinez, outstanding senior. Tristan Robert Varney. Jesus Ventura Mejia. Amber Renee Taylor. Autumn Rain Taylor. Hunter Lee Wyatt. Devin Michael Hauser. Gavin Jean Hauser. Miriam Catherine Lee McKee. Chandler Drake Carpenter. Dylan Lee Lamberth. Allison Danelle Balcom. Andrew Chase Bullard. Alexa Dare Bebrick, Outstanding Senior. Joshua Nicholas Janisak. Noah Christopher Barger.
Good morning. I'm Allie Salas. Graduates, I know this isn't how many of us expected our graduation to be, but here we are. Our senior year may have ended abruptly, but I want to remind you not to think of the end, but rather how we got here in the first place. Don't let this plot twist diminish your accomplishments or erase the memories of the last 13 years. I've always liked to compare my life to a series of plot triangles. You know, the triangle that lays out the framework of a story with the exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. I learned about that triangle in middle school, but it wasn't until Miss Cornwell's AP Lit class that I realized there are two types, an ideal and a realistic plot triangle. You see, in an ideal plot triangle, the characters are introduced and the rising action is a straight shot to the climax. In an ideal plot triangle, there are no setbacks, no turning points, and nothing out of the ordinary. In an ideal world, there would have been no cancellations, no social distancing protocols, and no modified graduations. The time we are in right now is far from ideal. Now let me tell you about a realistic plot triangle, one where the rising action is the main part of the story and it takes longer to get to the climax. In the reality we are living today, we are faced with new obstacles every day. While these obstacles have seemed much bigger and scarier these last few months, that doesn't mean we won't ever reach the climax. In fact, we have reached one of many today. We have graduated. The rising action is what got us here. All the late night study sessions, stressing over SATs, college applications, and extracurriculars. All of these things have played a part in getting us to this moment, but they aren't the only thing. Remember how I mentioned the exposition, the beginning of the story where all the characters are introduced? In the past 13 years, you have had many different people walk into your life, and some have walked out. Some of those people have made a lasting impact that you will carry with you as you enter the next chapter of your life. In my case, people such as my family, friends, and the wonderful faculty and staff here at West Lincoln have been my motivation for everything that I do. The climax of both an ideal and a realistic plot triangle can be seen in moments like these. Moments where we celebrate our accomplishments and reflect on everything we have done thus far. The climax in a story is typically short. It doesn't last long, but the effects stay with us until the end. Today is a day we will always remember, social distancing and all. But I want to encourage you to keep the memory with you and to not allow yourself to think that these unprecedented circumstances erase all the hard work you put in and out of the classroom. Finally, we get to our falling action and resolution. The falling action will be seen as we leave here today and reflect on the past 4 years together. Some of the excitement will pass and we will reach our resolution. It is where we start our next story, whether it be by starting college, joining the military, or entering the workforce. Our lives are a series of plot triangles. There is never a single climax or a single resolution, but rather moments upon moments that define our lives and make it worth living. Cling to these moments, but continue to move forward and experience all the amazing things we have yet to encounter. This is just the beginning. Thank you, and go Rebels!
From beyond the hills and valleys echoes back our song of praise. Hail, all hail our alma mater, chorus to her name we raise. Let us lift our eyes and voices, send her fame out far and wide. Spread the word that with West Lincoln honor, glory will abide. To her loyal sons and daughters, comes a call to carry on. Carry onward, carry upward, till her brightness stands alone. Let us now with strength and courage hear the call and take the fight. Be the red and gray forever, praised and honored for her might.
Welcome, senior class of 2020. I'm so proud of you, not just today, but because of the extraordinary adults you are becoming. I say extraordinary with intention. Many of you have faced adversity and have used it to make you stronger, not weaker. Most of you were born in 2001, the year terrorists attacked our nation. The attacks on September 11, 2001, were the deadliest attacks on U.S. soil since Pearl Harbor bombing that launched the United States into World War II. The plane hijackings that struck the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and a Pennsylvania field killed 2,977 people. Your parents remember where they were when the plane struck and when the towers fell. Our biggest concern was you, our children. How is this going to change your life, and would you ever be safe again? You came into this world at a time of fear and uncertainty. Today is similar. It is a time of uncertainty and not sure of what will happen next. But know this, you are resilient, adaptable, strong leaders that move forward in adverse times. I encourage you to make this experience one that you look back on and are proud of the way you persevered and did not allow circumstances to determine your happiness. As you move through life, there will always be something you have to overcome, and because of your experiences, you will be equipped to do it with integrity, joy, and continue to be extraordinary rebels. It was an honor serving you as your principal the last 4 years. Thank you again, and go Rebels.
To the class of 2020, I am honored to be able to stand here today and address you in your last few minutes of being a senior at West Lincoln High School. I know that your senior year did not go as we had planned, and the quote from Robert Burns sums it up well. The best laid plans of mice and men often go awry. But in light of this, I want you to reflect and think about the events that have occurred since March 13th, the last day you're among your friends and your peers, and focus on the why, not the what. I say focus on the why because things in life happen for a reason. The reason I'm referring to is not the coronavirus, and it's nothing I can tell you. It's your why, because you have to find it. Yours is unique to you and your experiences. We are all shaped by significant events, both happy and sad, such as marrying your high school sweetheart, having your first child, the COVID-19 pandemic, the passing of a loved one, and a number of other possibilities that we may be experiencing throughout our lives. But we cannot cling to the what. We have to learn from our experiences and ask ourselves, how does it change the way we live? Events such as the COVID-19 pandemic teach us that we must persevere in the face of difficulty. The things that we experience do not define us, nor do they stop us from doing what we need to do to be successful. You are in control of how you live, the decisions you make, and ultimately your own successes. The students and teachers of West Lincoln High School and throughout the country were told to change the way that they were used to learning and teaching, all in a matter of a few days. We all took these challenges in stride, and yet here we are today, graduating the class of 2020. The senior class of 2020 In a few moments, you will become graduates and will leave here with your families and your friends to continue to celebrate your accomplishments and begin thinking about your future careers and your lives as adults. You'll be faced with many decisions. Some will be easier than others, but ultimately, they will be yours to make. With my closing thoughts, I leave you with this. When life is tough, be patient, persevere, be grateful for what you have, and focus on the why as opposed to the what has happened when things get difficult. And now the time you've all been waiting for. By the power given to me by the state of North Carolina, I now pronounce you all graduates of West Lincoln High School. Please turn your tassels to the right. Again, thank you all for coming. As we leave, please be sure we're going to have West Lincoln High School staff directing you on the way out. Do not pull out until you're given the go-ahead. We're going to start over here with the marshals, and then we'll follow along with West Lincoln High School staff. Thank you again for coming, and have a great day. Too late. No, never mind. One more thing. On your way out, please come back at a later time to pick up your senior signs. We'll leave them in the parking lot. Thank you.